Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner. I'm sorry I'm just a little late tonight, but I am here, and it was unforeseen circumstances. Obviously, it's Mother's Day. I just got finished taking a shower, and more importantly, there were things that I had to do for my mom, so I couldn't just be here whenever I wanted to. So I did the best I could, and here I am. Thank you very much, you guys, for watching. I'm glad you're all here, and I'm glad you're all safe and well. For those of you who still have mothers, I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. And for those of you who might be a mother right now, I also wish you a very happy Mother's Day. And if you're a grandma, I still wish you a happy Mother's Day. So I wish everybody here a very happy Mother's Day. Okay, now, yeah. The internet stopped moving quite the way I want it to. Oh, well. Let us deal with what we have to deal with here. Anyway, how are you guys doing this evening? Please, if you're on my live stream right now, just let me know who you are so I know exactly who I'm talking to tonight. I know some of you will be watching this later on, and that's just fine with me. So what all are we going to cover tonight? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, how many of you noticed that I sent you a message over I have this community tab on my YouTube channel? How many of you people actually received a communication from me from my community tab on my YouTube channel? If you did, let me know. And yes, I know I'm buffering here. It can't be helped. I guess there's a lot of people on the internet tonight, and it's just, there's nothing I can do. So you live with what you live with. That's all you can do. Anyway, how many of you people noticed that I gave you a message on the community tab of YouTube? Okay. All right. Anyway, I know that was a long pause, but that's okay. So what was in this message? Well, there's going to be more of them, first of all. And secondly, what I did was I took Microsoft Paint and I actually made some thumbnails, just a few of them, for some of my videos. I don't know whether you saw that or not, but I did. So anyway, I hope you saw that. And if you did, I'm glad. If not, I'm sorry, but I did make some thumbnails. If you will take a look at Italian lesson number 1, that video right there, or subtraction grammar. I made a video called subtraction grammar. I also made a video called mathematical variables. If you will look at the thumbnails of every one of those, you will see that I created some new stuff. Also, I think it was the digit span test. I made a thumbnail for it as well. And I will be making more and more of these thumbnails over time to see if I can get more and more of an audience. It might work. It might not. We'll find out. But anyway, I have to say that so far, it has been now a week since I made my hyphen underscore update, and it went nowhere. Nobody is clicking the box. You know, when they go to my original hyphen underscore video, which I made a decade ago, and they look up on the top and they just don't click the box. It literally appears 8 seconds after the video starts. And I know they're watching for at least 8 seconds. So they are definitely seeing the box. They're just not clicking it. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's because people just don't know about it. So it's something I got to make you people aware of. Anyway, If you have not seen my updated _ video, please check it out. You'll like it. So, let's see here. First thing we can do is, I guess I can go down here. Okay. That'll help. All right. Now, I don't know. I guess I could get on Facebook here, and we'll see if I can get anybody to join me tonight. I know we got one person here. My computer is not cooperating with me very well. What a surprise. There, that's better. There you go. Well, that might get a little bit of attention. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Let's continue on, shall we? So what are we going to cover tonight? Well, one of the first things we're going to cover is a video by the beautiful Golden Hour. And I don't have a whole lot of notes on this. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Gmail. So I can get my notes. And we are also going to... Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to this. Again, my computer is being slow as molasses. So I hope you will bear with me. Ah, there we go. So let's just start with the beautiful Golden Hour. I hope she'll be joining us shortly. If not, I'm sure she'll be joining us later. It makes no difference. But before I go ahead and review the beautiful Golden Hour, because I'm going to go ahead and All right. I'll set this on up. I want to let you guys know in a little over a week from now, this is a little over a week from now, I am going to be on a very short 2-day vacation. That's it, 2 days. Part of that time will be devoted to taking notes. And when I take the notes, then I will make a massive presentation in a live stream during my vacation. Okay, so there'll be at least a 2-hour live stream with lots and lots of material, and you'll have it. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. Will there be a live stream next Sunday? I don't know. If there is, it's going to be pretty much just taking notes and not really doing much of anything in the line of making a full-blown presentation. Maybe there will be. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. There may not be. I may just sit the entire day on that particular Sunday and just take notes and prepare myself for this massive live stream that I'm going to release. We shall see. Anyway, so without further ado, let me go ahead and click this off. Let me make sure. All right. The camera looking right at me. Perfect. Ha! Except for one thing, it's taking pictures instead of recording video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try this again. I want this thing to look right at me. Here we go. This video response is going to go out to the beautiful golden hour. Blah, 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 blah. That was horrible. Let's try that again, shall we? All right. Let's have them all look right at me. That's much better. Let's take a look here. La, 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 la. Stop it. So let's see something real quick. Huh. Well. Oh, man, my computer's froze up. I gotta wait until my computer catches up with me. But anyway, not only are we going to do a review of the beautiful golden hour, but we are also going to do man, this thing's being slow as an X-Button. Okay, let me get out of this. There we go. We're going to do this beautiful golden hour, and then I'll go into the rest. Hang in there, folks. This video response is going to... Boy, that was terrible. We got to do that again. That sounded just awful. Okay, let's try this one more time. This video, yeah, this is going well. Let's try that one more time. This video response is going to go out to the beautiful golden hour, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled "A Beautiful." That sounded real good. That's better, though. We're making progress, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. This video response is going to go out to the beautiful golden hour, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled "A Beautiful Vivid Sunrise, May 8th, 2020. I watched your video and I decided to ask you a few questions about your video. The first question is, what species of tree was in the video? You had this great big tree at the beginning of the video, and it was right out in front of you. It was right in the middle of the screenshot, and I want to know what species of tree it was. All right. It looked like it was kind of cold when you recorded this video. Was it cold? And if so, by how much? Was it really like freezing? Or I can tell you personally right now, as I am recording this video, it is almost 35 degrees outside. That is no joke, people. It is really cold around here. Okay. Are there any bird nests in the tree? And if so, what kind of birds live in that tree? Are they jaybirds? Are they redbirds? Let me know. Are they swallows, crows, sterlings? Let me know. I'd like to know. Was there a lot of traffic going on while you videotaped this? Did it lead it to a nice, warm, sunny day, or did you have rain showers later on? I'd like to know. All right, feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be the beautiful golden hour and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to the beautiful golden hour's YouTube channel, watch her videos, rate her videos, subscribe to her channel if you like, and more importantly, tell her that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. And if the beautiful golden hour is watching me right now, I would like to say this video has been long overdue, and I'm sorry it took me so long to get there. There will be more reviews like this, and hopefully it'll get your channel some ratings, some subscribers, whatnot, and hopefully you'll do better in the ratings. So anyway, I was glad to do that for you. Anyway, so we got another presentation I'm going to make. But before I do, I want to go over, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here. Let's see here. History. It would be, let's see. I'm now going to discuss a video. I'm not going to do any formal presentation on it tonight, but I'm going to discuss a video entitled 5 Things Christians Should Stop Saying. It's from DLM Christian Lifestyle. And I'm not going to go through all of it tonight, but I am going to address one thing. This guy wants us to stop using the phrase, oh my goodness. And if you don't know what I mean by oh my goodness, well, you know, it's probably something that really is something else. Okay. And I'm sure you know what that is. But the thing is that that particular phrase includes the word God. Now, the thing is that God really wasn't the prevalent name of the God of the Holy Bible until about the 1500s. Okay. And here's the problem. You see, if you will go to Exodus chapter 3, you will find out the real name of God. Okay. And the real name, according to the Bible, is I am. Now, Jesus also said this when he was at his trial. And if you want to check that out, go ahead, go to the Gospels. You'll find out that in the trial of Jesus, he actually said, I am. What he was actually saying was, I'm taking the title of God. Okay? So when people use this particular phrase, what they're actually doing is not that they're taking the Lord's name in vain. It has nothing to do with it. Okay, because they're not really using the Lord's name. So if they're not using the Lord's name, then they're not taking his name in vain. But here's the problem. They are giving false witness. Okay, this falls under a different commandment. It says, thou shalt not bear false witness. What they're actually telling people is that God, the word God, is the name of God, and it's not. I am is the name of God, not God. So whenever they say that, what they're actually saying is, that's the name of God, and it's not. And that breaks that commandment, which is, thou shalt not bear false witness. Besides, when they use that particular phrase on a regular basis, what they're actually showing people is that they are intellectually inferior to everybody else. That's something you don't want to do, especially in this society. You want to show intellectual superiority, not intellectual inferiority. That's something you need to do. And the reason you want to show intellectual superiority is because what you really want to do is you want to get higher paying gainful employment. The more sophisticated your speech sounds on a regular basis, the more likely you'll get paid a lot more for your duties. If not, you're not going to get paid very much. We need to improve your speech, and that is something you need to get out of your speech. Not because it's a bad thing, it's because it's something that could keep you from getting a higher paying gainful employment. I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying it can. It literally can. And you want to sound as sophisticated as possible, especially on the job, so that you can get the higher paying gainful employment. And that was the point of my discussion tonight, was to show you how to pull that off. Okay, so you don't want to look like an intellectual inferior. You don't want to break the false witness commandment. So really, because of those two reasons, you should not be saying that. It's up to you, but I wouldn't. And you now have good reasons as to why. All right, better reasons than this guy is stating. So, anyway, I may make a formal presentation on this subject. He did go on to say that you should not be making a ton of promises. I totally agree with that. The main reason is that I'm like him. Let your yeses be yes. Let your noes be noes. You make promises and you can't keep them, and you break them enough times, and people are going to get upset with you. You don't want people upset with you because you can't keep a promise. It can really tear somebody apart emotionally. I can tell you that. So, yeah, I would say keep your promises. And as for him saying you shouldn't say good luck, you can say it in a derogatory way to somebody, because what you're saying is, hey, I rely on God. What about you? I mean, you're not relying on him. Good luck. Yeah, and you can say it in a derogatory way without actually, I think you got to get the point. All right, well, we're going to get rid of that there. So, do you see where I'm coming from with all this? I might do a formal presentation on this video at some point, but now you have a better comprehension of what's going on. Anyway. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. This video response, blah, 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 blah. Let's do this again. All right. I know I had to take over a bunch of details, but you're about to get another video. Hang on just a second. This video response is going to go out to Amanda Kaufman, and that's because you recently resigned your position as a teacher in the state of Kansas. And for the most part, I agreed with every reasoning that you gave out in your presentation. I actually got to watch the whole thing, and I watched all of it, and I agree with most of what you said. There was one statement in there I will address later on in this video, but I want to address what I agree with first, then I'll address what I don't agree with, and I'll show you why I disagree with it. Okay. All right. Apparently, Amanda Kaufman was not very pleased about the contract negotiations for teachers. Okay, apparently in this Kansas school district, they were renegotiating the pay contract with the teachers. And she was upset about two things. One, the classroom size. I mean, apparently she's getting more and more students she has to teach all by herself. And then on top of that, she was not being compensated well enough for that either. That's perfectly understandable. But we have to first go through the parts of her speech. She gave a big speech, and I'll go through the parts I agree with and the one part that I really disagree with and why. Well, first of all, Mrs. Kaufman and many of her fellow teachers have concluded that they are overworked and underpaid. Okay, fine. They have tried to negotiate with the school board for several months. That's unfortunate, but okay. She requested to meet with the school board, but the school board sent a lawyer to meet with her instead of meeting with her themselves. This is what threw her over the edge, at least academically, that is. All right. Mrs. Kaufman wanted to give her students one last lesson. So she starts her speech by saying, hey, I'm going to resign effective immediately. Fine. She started by saying that just because a person can do something, that doesn't necessarily mean that they ought to do it or that there's a good reason for doing it. Okay. I totally agree with this statement. Just because you can bungee jump doesn't mean you should bungee jump. Not necessarily a good idea, but whatever. All right. According to Mrs. Kaufman, the school board was expecting her to accept the contract she was offered. And then apparently the school board, for some dumb reason, was starting to lie about, I don't know exactly what the lies were they were telling about the teachers, but apparently they were bad enough that she finally had to take a stand. And I'm sure at some point she'll probably clarify, and that's fine. If you're upset about that, so be it. She didn't specifically state what lies the school board was stating. I'm sure if I did enough research, I could find out. I just didn't take the time to do that at this point. I'm sure that if she ever watches this video, she probably will look that up and tell us what was going on. So I'm sure she'll elaborate on that point at some point in the future. Again, I had no problem with that. Okay, if this school board is doing what she claims they're doing, that's not very nice. Okay, they're not being very considerate of her. It looks like that they were berating her and her fellow teachers, and also belittling them, and basically just dishonoring them. Okay, from what I understand. Now, of course, I don't have all the details, so I don't know, but from what I'm getting so far, that's what she's claiming they're doing. And if true, then she has reason to be really upset. Fine. Okay. I also agree, just because you can accept less pay for a service that you provide doesn't mean that you should accept such a payment. I mean, let me tell you something. If you go to the task of constructing a wooden rocking chair, and you value that rocking chair to be a certain amount of dollars, and somebody says, hey, I'll pay you half that amount, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to accept that offer. You could, if the rocking chair was taking up space and nobody else was wanting to buy the dang thing, and then you finally say, okay, well, I have nowhere else to get rid of this thing, so here you go. Or you could get on the internet and you could try to offer it to somebody else to see if you can get a better price. And I honestly agree that if you can get a better price for something, take it. Okay? You don't have to. You could be nice. You could say, hey, I understand your financial situation. I'll go ahead and do this. But otherwise, So when do I begin to disagree with what Mrs. Kaufman was saying? Well, it's when she started to state that respect should not have to be earned. This is a very dangerous statement, and I'm going to show you why this is a very dangerous statement. Now, I certainly can comprehend people can make hasty word choices, especially if they're full of ire. I comprehend her ire. I totally agree with it. I also understand how hasty she was. Fine. She found out that she didn't want to deal with the situation anymore, and finally said, I'll just write up a quick speech and throw. I might be tempted to do the same thing, but as an academic, you have to be careful, because if you're not careful, you can say something that inadvertently can be very dangerous. And this is a very dangerous statement. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. So, first of all, the statement is false, and I'll show you why. The etymology of the word respect consists of the Latin prefix re, which means back, and the Latin word specere, which means to look. So what you're doing is you're looking back. And as the word evolved, it was looking back with reverence. Okay, it finally evolved into the definition of looking back with reverence. All right. After a while, it got the connotation of something you should give special attention to. Okay, the definition of regarding a person with reverence was added around the 1500s. You can see this for yourself, and I'm doing a live stream right now, and as soon as this live stream is over with, in this particular video, and I'll go ahead and post it in the live stream too, I'll put some hyperlinks down here in the description below so you know exactly what I'm discussing here. Respect, if not earned, can be demanded by complete fools. And some good illustrations of this can be found in the hyperlinks below. You can see this for yourself. Also, respect, if not earned, can be devalued and lead to the absence of value. It means you could lose the value of the word respect altogether if you use it frivolously. Respect that is not earned finally ends up with the absence of value. Okay? So I think what you were looking for in this particular presentation was you wanted these people to give you some common courtesy, and they didn't. And that's what upset you. Fine. But use the word courtesy instead of the word respect, because respect must always be earned for these reasons. Okay? So, think about this for a second. Should we respect teachers that force United States students to recite the pledge of the Mexican flag? Now, I know you didn't do that, but there are teachers out there who actually have done this. And I have an article that proves that they did this. Should we respect a teacher that forces her students to recite an Islamic prayer? I know you didn't do that, but we have teachers have done this. You're saying they're saying respect should not have to be earned. Well, yeah, I think it should. And this is why. Because these people were demanding respect without getting enough qualifiers, if you want to say it that way, to say, I am showing you why I deserve respect. Okay? So this is why respect should be earned, because when people do stuff like this, we shouldn't respect them. And now you can see why. Okay? Now, I think personally that the word courtesy or honor should have been used instead of respect. That would be a lot more accurate of a description of your situation than the word respect. You're more than welcome to disagree with me. I think I've clearly proven my case. And even at that, honor should have to be earned too, but courtesy should not. Okay? But I think a better approach in this particular situation, because these are fellow academics, you should have put you were actually being presented with an honor challenge by the school board. You should have put the ball back into their court. How could you have done this? Okay, well, I'm going to propose how you could do that. You could have asked them some questions. Ask them questions. Instead of them asking you questions, you should be asking these questions. You could have said, do you think my credentials are not sufficient enough to deserve a raise? Or do you think I haven't had enough experience as a teacher? Or do you think I'm so intellectually inferior that I couldn't negotiate a contract effectively with your school district properly? Had she done that, I think she would have had a better chance of getting their favor. Okay? Now, after she made this erroneous statement of respect should not have to be earned, which is false, and I have clearly proven that to be false, she also stated that a person doesn't have to be silent about an issue just because they can be silent. I agree with that 100%. But the final thing you did was you stormed off. Okay, I don't answer to you anymore. Well, in this respect, or I wouldn't even say respect, that's kind of a cheap shot. I would say in this particular instance, in this particular situation, that would be the better word. In this particular situation, okay, so even I fall into that trap, and I'm trying to teach this. In this particular situation, what you should have done was you should have said, as you are well aware by now, I am no longer employed with you, and I have no desire to answer any more of your questions. And then quietly bring your stuff together and with head held high, walk off in a dignified manner. I would never have stormed off like that. And your students cheering you on for that, I felt was wrong. I really did. You need to act like a professor, and professors don't storm off like that. They walk with a stride, showing how intellectually superior they are to the ones that they've had to take on in an honor challenge. You should have walked away in total, complete, upright dignity instead of just storming off. If you allow your emotions to get the better of you during a presentation of that formality, you're actually losing your honor challenge instead of winning. I would not have done the same. That's just me. Now, for if you're wanting to know my academic credentials, I've had 2 years of COBOL, which requires you to have an in-depth knowledge of accounting, computer tech, high-end mathematics, and how to do etymology. And I know all four. So I actually am semi-fluent in Italian. I do know quite a bit of Latin myself. So I do know how to make a formal presentation if I must. Furthermore, I do, and I have clearly proven on my YouTube channel that I know a great deal about mathematics, so I do know a lot about logical reasoning. And I do know how to make formal presentations. And I'm techie enough to operate most equipment. Printers are a little different. They are so variant, and I can say the same thing of smartphones. There are such variations that it's a little difficult to have all the material on every single aspect of a phone. Now, iPhone's a little different story, but Androids are so varied at this point that it's a little hard to do that. But that's beside the point. The point is, I have proven myself to be a true intellectual. I do know about honor challenges. I do know about Roman forms. And what you did here towards the end of your speech, you were starting to lose your honor challenge instead of win it. And I'd like the next time you take a challenge on like that to actually win. You may not realize it, and that's fine, but hopefully this constructive criticism will actually improve your arguments in the future. And I hope you present this to your students so they can make a better presentation the next time they face a challenge like this. You are more than welcome to debate me. I would be more than happy to do that. But in the meantime, I hope that you can take what I've said and improve yourself. And I hope you do. And I hope you teach your students the same thing. All right. So that's all I've got to say about this subject tonight. I hope that you have a good evening, and I thank you for watching. And if you're not Amanda Kaufman right now and you're watching this video, you are more than welcome to contact Amanda Kaufman if you like. And I hope that what I've said here tonight makes you a better teacher. All right. Thank you very much. You have yourself a wonderful evening. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Anyway, so what will I be doing for a live stream the next time I'm on the air? Well, the next time I'm on the air, you remember my navigating my YouTube channel 2020 or 2019 video? Well, I'm going to have 3 of them the next time around. One will be for YouTube television. One will be for YouTube smartphone edition, and 3 for the laptop edition. And I probably will have more boxes up on the air and probably more links down below on those particular videos. And there you go. So another thing I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to talk about part of it tonight, is I'm going to go through the next part of Math Doesn't Suck. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. That's better. We had somebody that came on here. Somebody by the name of Odd Rasha. And this person was trying to honor challenge me, and they're gone. They were dropping an improper honor challenge, and I finally said enough. Anyway, so now that's all taken care of. So, what are we going to talk about on our next live stream? Well, on our next live stream, we're going to have another discussion of Danica McKellar's book, Math Doesn't Suck. And one of the biggest problems with her presentation in the book, I'm hoping these markers work. If they don't, I'll have to get more markers. Anyway, let's go through this, shall we? The next subject was compound fractions. Okay? And the problem I have with it, it's not a major problem, but it is a problem, is that when you're doing compound fractions, you have to show them something super easy first, and then you can go to something a little more complicated. And that's why I could not get the whole thing done. If you guys want to stick around tonight, I'll go ahead and finish my notes on this particular video, and then you can go on with it. Now, here is the most simplistic example of a compound fraction. Okay? All right. This is a compound fraction. You see, you have one fraction dividing that is being divided by another fraction. We need to simplify this in order to make this thing work. Now, the first thing you can do is you can reduce this down. What is 2 divided by 4? Well, I'll show you. One eighth divided by 1/2. Now, in order to show that all the things I'm going to talk about in the video are actually going to work, I need to first turn this into decimals. All right, now I want to show you how this thing works by turning this into decimals and then going ahead and going on with this. All right, so what is 1 divided by 8? One divided by 8 is 0.125. Okay, got this right here on my notes, 0.125. The other is 0.5. Okay, now I am going to explain something to you, and it's very, very important for me to explain this to you. What if we were to multiply this fraction by the number 1? Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and show this to you. I know it looks backwards, but that's okay. Anyway, if you were to multiply this fraction by the number 1, what would you get? Well, any number, doesn't matter if it's fraction or otherwise, that's multiplied by the number 1 is the same number. What 0.125 divided by 0.5 multiplied by 1 is still going to be 0.125 divided by 0.5. That's the way it works. It's just that simple. Okay, so what if we were to multiply this not by 1, but by 10 over 10? Okay, again, show you this. 10 by 10. Okay, if we were to do that, well, what is 10 divided by 10? 1. That's what it is. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So basically, you're still multiplying the 0.125 and the 0.5 by 1, except you're going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same amount. What do you get if you do that? Well, what you get is point, well, 1.25 divided by 5. All right, what is 1.25 divided by 5? Well, that is 0.25. How do we know that 1.25 divided by 5 is 0.25? Well, what's 0.25 plus 0.25? Well, that's 0.5. What's 0.5 plus 0.25? Well, that's 0.75. What's 0.75 plus 0.25? Well, again, that is 1. And if you add 0.25 to 1, you get 1.25. So 0.25 times 5 will give you 1.25. That's how that works. Now, if you were to divide both of these by 10, because you multiplied by 10 the last time, now you're going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by 10, you're still going to get 0.25. That's what you're going to get. All right? Because all you're doing is dividing these back down to where they were when you started. This is very important. So whether you multiply the numerator and the denominator of a fraction by 10 or you divide them both by 10 makes zero difference. You're still going to get the answer of 0.25. This is very important. And when I do my video, I will explain that to you. So, hopefully, you mastered that as well. All right. Now, see if anybody responded to me. Nope. All right. Well, anyway, so you guys got any questions for me tonight? Anything? Any response? I'm going to take a look at one more thing before I possibly officially sign off the air tonight. Ah, I thought they'd get a response. Nope. I was wrong. So anyway, like I said, what I'm going to do in the days to come is I'm going to actually do the actual presentation of how YouTube works on a phone, how YouTube works on a TV, how YouTube works on a laptop, and more importantly, I will do another TrackPhone smartphone tutorial, this time with a lot more details, better details, etc., etc., etc. So I hope you will check that out. I will review songs. There'll be a lot of stuff I'll do. This math doesn't suck. This is going to be done. So there you go. Well, if there's nothing else for tonight, and it doesn't look like there is, I am going to go ahead and shut down this live stream. I know that you guys were looking forward to that. I may actually do a movie review too. I'll have the time necessary to sit down each night. Throughout the day, I'll have things that I'll have to do, but at night, I won't have near as much to do. And I might be able to just sit down and make some notes and be done with it. So I really appreciate you guys stopping in tonight. I know it was Mother's Day and everything, and I know you guys wanted to watch. I really want to thank you guys for watching this tonight. And if you're not watching this live, I'm sure you'll be watching it at some other point. Anyway, that's all I have for you. If you want me to, I can continue running this live stream and just start taking notes and let you guys see how I take notes. Otherwise, I'm just going to pretty much close down for the night. I don't know. That is up to you. I have not seen hardly anybody join my live stream tonight, so maybe it's just a bad night to do a live stream. I don't know. But I do want to thank you guys very much for watching me. Survival on a Budget made easy. I might go ahead and say this. I may do some reviews of your videos as well. So maybe one of those things where I do some reviews and whatever. We shall see. All right. Well, I don't see, I mean, it's been an hour now and only one person joined me, so I think I may just shut her down for the night. All right. I guess I will tell everybody, thank you very much for joining me. You guys have a wonderful evening. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.